All right, so we'll call the school board meeting into session at this time. Colleagues, as you know, the second item is the approval of the agenda. There are no changes to the agenda, and so I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
A second.
second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Was it Ms. Gardner? Second by Ms. Gardner, correction, thank you. Any discussion? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, Section 3, recognitions, 3.1. Recognition of Madison Muse, Crestview High School 2024 Florida High Athletic Association Girls Weightlifting State Champion Olympic Division, presented by Superintendent Chambers. Superintendent?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and School Board. It seems like each and every meeting we are recognizing a new state champion in Okaloosa schools, and tonight we recognize another, like we shared this morning at the board workshop, and there are more to come at the next school board meeting. And I do want to say just briefly, but I very much appreciate, I got some information regarding you from Crestview High School today, but I do want to just say to you, like we say about our athletes who achieve these honors, and I think you would agree that you didn't win the state championship here recently. I think you won the state championship based on all the work, all the time, all the sweat, all the tears that was put forth before even getting to the state championship. And I think that's one of the beauties of sports. Sports in terms of competition, sports in terms of winning is one thing, but it's what you learn along the way that's going to satisfy you in life and propel you in your future world and job that really makes the difference. But today it's still great to be a state champion, right? And I like to say, if we asked each and every individual in this room to raise your hand if you won a state championship, I'll guarantee you not many hands are going to go up. And that's just a fact of life, though many people compete. So fantastic. And I just want to read just a few words regarding Maddie. Maddie is a current senior at Crestview High School. She has participated in weightlifting all 4 years of her high school career. Her freshman year, she placed third in traditional. As a sophomore, she placed second in snatch and third in traditional. As a junior, her weight class changed, and she placed third in Olympic and sixth in traditional. She continued to push herself to reach her goal to become a state champion. I love how they say she continued to push herself. All of her hard work and dedication to her sport paid off this year at state with a third place in traditional and a state championship in Olympic in the 119 weight class. Maddie clean and jerked 190 pounds and snatched 140. Maddie's state championship is the first in the history of Crestview High School for a female athlete. Maddie will be attending Mars Hill University in North Carolina on a weightlifting scholarship. CHS is proud of Maddie, and we look forward to her continued success. And to be the first of anything is absolutely fantastic. And just again, we couldn't be more proud. You'll come up in a second, but we might have some board members who have a few words, and I know Ms. Hayden and your athletic director might as well as your coach. Board?
All right, colleagues, Ms. Gardner.
I just want to say, well, of course, congratulations, but I am just so proud of our young women that are standing out in athletics. And I know later tonight I'm going to mention Fort Walton Beach High School, but I love that our women, our young ladies are strong not only in academics, but then also, not only in academics, but also in our sports. And as Mr. Chambers said, it didn't start just last year. This started way back. Mom and dad and parents and those that support you that helped to get you to this point. So congratulations.
Miss Maddie, go girl. You go. Congratulations. And also, what a thing to be able to leave that legacy at your high school. I don't know that that will even sink into you until you leave, but later on, it'll really hit you what that means to have left that kind of legacy at your high school. So I can't even tell you how impressed I am and how happy I am for you and for Crestview High School. Congratulations.
Mr. Bryant.
And Maddie, congratulations as the representative for the Crestview District. It's exciting to see a Bulldog up here being recognized tonight. But the one thing that has really impressed me about seeing what's going on today is the support that you have. You have a lot of people that are supporting you, and I think that's a testament to why you're here today, because of all the support that you have had over the time that you've been doing this. So, but it's exciting to see you're going to get a weightlifting scholarship, and who knows, we might see you in the Olympics one day. That might be the goal. And and another thing, at Crestview High School, they have the Hall of Fame there, so maybe one day we'll see your name up on the Hall of Fame for all your achievements that you have done. But congratulations, and good luck in the future.
Well, Maddie, I have to lean around to see you, but I'll talk to you sitting straight up anyway, but so you know I'm addressing you. I just say that persistence and the continual focus on the goals that you've set for yourself are just traits that will continue to allow you to be successful, not just today, but in the future. Those are all good traits to take with you into college or the world of work or into adulthood. So I know that you already have those established routines and those skills to set goals and to achieve those goals. So I'm just looking forward to hearing what we find out about you and your future. So I know great things are ahead. Congratulations, and continue the good work.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. And Miss Maddie, I know a little bit about weightlifting, and so I know about the commitment and dedication that it took for you to achieve at the level that you achieved. And so congratulations for that. You are a leader, as the superintendent noted. You're the first. And you're also the proud recipient of a scholarship for something that you love to do, and that's wonderful. So congratulations, and you heard from all of us, and we're so very, very proud of you. Superintendent?
All right, and before you come up, Maddie, Principal Ms. Hayden, if you'd come forward, and Coach come forward.
I'll speak first because you have so much to say. So she spent several years with her coach. But one thing that everybody has mentioned, the dedication, et cetera, but one thing I've learned on Maddie is she is so humble. When I told her that we wanted to make sure we recognized her, she was in total shock. So very humble young lady, not only gifted in weightlifting, but a strong student academically, and I'm extremely proud of you.
Real quick, I've had the honor to watch her lift in the last 3 state championships, and just it's amazing. If you've never been to that venue, it's unbelievable. A lot of pressure, a lot of girls, a lot of guys, and put in perspective what she did. She clean and jerked almost twice her body weight.
Wow.
So I'm gonna round my way up to 200. That'd be like me to 400, which is it's impossible. And it's unbelievable. The technique is unreal. A joy to be around, for sure.
I don't have a lot to say because this is very emotional for me, but I'm super proud of her. Honestly, Miss Kelly, you said her persistence and hard work. I mean, everything you said, I was just like, yes. Like she put the work in. We were just there to like enjoy the experience with her. So, congrats again.
And Maddie, come forward. If you'd like to say something, you can say something. If not, we're going to take a picture.
Okay. I'll just say something really quick. I want to say thank you to my amazing coaches, my teammates who aren't here, but my teachers who helped me make up work because I was out of school all the time for competitions and everything, and most importantly, my parents who brought me into this sport, brought me into this arena, and they have the most support for me and want me to do so good. And thank you. get back there.
We'll make it work.
All right. Got it.
Okay.
All right, colleagues, that now takes us to item 3.2, and that's Niceville High School Eagle Pride Marching Band Presentation. Superintendent?
All right, this time, Mr. Wooten, if you'd come forward.
Well, I wanted to introduce, firstly, thank you for allowing us to be here and take some of your important time here, valuable time. I wanted to introduce these young ladies. These are our drum majors from the marching band. And I had to write their names down because I can't remember Doodah, even though I've known them forever. Quinlan Holsinger, Aurora Mendenhall, Maddie Middleton, and Kate Kulo. These three are seniors, so they're leaving us and heading off to bigger things. This is Matt Tenore, our associate director, and this is Morgan, recently Van Vliet, just got married, who is our assistant director. These folks have a souvenir for you to thank you for supporting our efforts and giving us permission to go to Pasadena and represent the county and the state and the school district and the school. So if y'all will give those to the appropriate people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Awesome.
I wanted to, while they give these out, I wanted to firstly tell you what you're receiving here.
Thank you so much.
They give these drum heads
Thank
to
you. Thank you.
Wow.
they give these drum heads to us to place on our drums. So all of the bands that were in the parade had these heads on their drums. And then when we get back, we take them off and use them, for things like this. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that those parades were actually those heads were actually in the parade. They weren't.
Yeah.
But if you want one that was in the parade and is beat up, just let me know and I'll get you one because we still have those.
Fabulous.
Just a few parade stats, if I could. The parade was 5.3 miles, and any of you that walk or exercise on a regular basis, that may not seem like a lot to you, but carrying a sousaphone or a big bass drum, it's a long way. Or if you're my age, it's a long way just to walk, just to be on your feet. There were 14 bands from all over the world in the parade, and we were lucky enough to be chosen as one of those. There were about 100 bands, I believe, that applied, and we applied and were chosen. There were 1 million spectators on the parade route live, and there were probably another 30 million watching live on TV. I asked, they didn't know I was going to do this. I had promised them they wouldn't have to speak, but I asked if one of them would volunteer to tell you what it's like when you go around TV Corner, as they call it. That's right at the start of the parade, if you don't know that. And you make that right turn onto Colorado, and Colorado goes downhill. So it looks like you're coming in an airplane, and it's lined with people on each side. So who's going to do this? Is it Kate? Okay. Good luck. Go on, Kate.
Come on, Miss Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate. Turning TV Corner was a mix of seeing from football fans to Niceville families. It was an overwhelming sense of support from complete strangers to people I've known all my life. And that sense of accomplishment combined with the sense of support of knowing that every late night parade practice and music rehearsal paid off was, I mean, if I wasn't already out of breath, it took my breath away because, it was truly spectacular. It's something that I had never really, I've worked hard for plenty of things, but it was more a group accomplishment. That's something I couldn't have done without the support of my family, my parents, my friends, the band boosters, the band directors, everybody that watched us going down the road at practice, everybody that came to every Friday night football game. I mean, every single bit of support was needed. And it was such a big group effort. I don't think I had ever really been a part of something that big before, and it kind of made me step back and realize this is a lot bigger than just me. This is a lot bigger than just my family, than just my friends. This is for our community. This is for everybody. And I mean, people, even strangers I didn't know across the parade route, I mean, just cheering for us. Like, whoa, it was a lot. And I think it was really cool to be a part of something like that. And I mean, the image of turning that corner and just seeing everybody cheering you on and knowing that you had made it, I don't think that's something that'll ever leave me.
Well, thank you, Ms. Kay.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
that's fabulous.
Great job.
Good job. We also wanted to publicly thank, in front of you so that it will be in the minutes, thank Mr. Charlie Morello for supporting us and going out with us. He and his family went out with us to the parade. Mr. Chambers went with us to New York City for the Macy's parade back in 2013, and we wore him out.
walked the 5
Obviously,
miles.
obviously, lots of thanks for, to parents and people in the community like yourselves and people in this room who supported our efforts for 22 months. They give you a 22-month lead so that you can begin raising the money more than anything, but also planning. And wanted to give a public thank you to Ms. Dewana Nyandorf, who's our bookkeeper at Niceville, who took in over $1 million and wrote all those invoices and paid all of those vendors for us, and that's a thankless job. Mr. Doug Woodley, our Band Booster president, is not here this evening. He got called. Was told last night that he was going out of town for work, so he went. He works out on base. He's a retired Navy. He's a Navy. What is he? He's an Air Force pilot who flew with the Navy on a carrier. So he landed jets on a carrier in the Air Force. And I wanted to say thank you for allowing me to continue to have the privilege of being the director of bands at Niceville. I've been there now for, I think this is 21 years. This is my 41st year of teaching. And I'm on loan from the Smithsonian, it feels like some days. But I wanted to, if you'll let me, recap a few things that we've done in the last 20 years. Starting with the 2005 Fiesta Bowl Parade, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 2014, the Tournament of Roses Parade 3 times across 3 decades. 2008, 2017, 2024, played at Carnegie Hall in 2010, and played at the Kennedy Center in 2019. So there's been a lot of big things that have happened there, and it really is because you all, across the years, the various boards have allowed us to go and provide these compelling experiences for these kids. So we're all here to say thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Director.
I'm going to have a few words, but some of you might have some words before that.
I was just going to thank you for, you have made Okaloosa County so proud. I know that I stood there with the just chill bumps and the biggest grin. I think I smiled the entire time watching the Niceville High School march through the parade. And people that may not even know where Niceville High School, or they don't have children in school, they were watching. They're excited. So thank you. I mean, it was just amazing. And I don't think I stopped smiling the entire time, just of pride, knowing that you are part of Okaloosa County. So thank you.
Yeah, I want to echo that because, and we, in our district, we have competition between the schools, and that's great. We cheer that on. But when a school goes to this level, it's not about those separate things. It's about one Okaloosa. And again, I watched that. It's just so exciting, and we're so proud of you. And you students are just at the top of your class. I mean, it's wonderful. Everything comes out perfect, just perfectly exemplary to what you do. And so that's so great when you're out there representing, what is the best of Okaloosa County. So thank you for doing that.
And I would echo what Ms. Ivanchek said. It's awesome to see our band programs be as successful as they are, and to see the Tournament of Roses parade for y'all. And when I watched it, it was really exciting to see y'all go down. And just like Ms. Ivanchek said, is we're one Okaloosa, and makes my heart proud when I see our kids out there doing amazing things. And like you said, it's a lifetime experience that you're going to remember this for the rest of your lives. And, just kind of put it in perspective, the Big Red Machine went out about 10 years ago, and they did a fundraiser for Knockout Roses. And I was telling one of my colleagues before the meeting, my Knockout Roses that I bought from them are blooming this year. So it always gives me a remembrance of them being in the Tournament of Roses parade, and then hearing y'all tonight and getting this memento is going to be just as touching for me, and appreciate all that y'all do. And y'all are awesome. So.
Mhm.
Well, and I'll just say, having been a band parent for 7 years, and my daughter was first year oboe, and I know that you know what a beginning oboe sounds like, a goose or a duck with a broken neck trying to scream for help. Anyway, so lived that life for 7 years, so I know very well firsthand all the hours, all the dedication, all the commitment, not on just your part, but on the parts of those who help drive you back and forth to practice, on your band directors, on your grandparents, on those who came and supported you. And as one of you said, all the things that you sold to get you there, they bought all that wrapping paper and candy and oranges and whatever else you sold. So I just congratulate you from every perspective that can be had, because I've been there in part. And though my daughter was part of the Big Red Marching Machine, and under Jody Dunn and Mr. Cadle and others, and they went to the Fiesta Bowl when she was a senior, I do know that level of commitment, and I'm so proud of Niceville's Marching Eagles and everything that you've done. And as we've all said tonight, you didn't just make Niceville proud, but you made your whole district proud. All of you did. And we're just so proud to lay claim to you. All of us are, not just me being your district and your zone school board member, but all of us are proud of you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much again for what you've done and for what we know you will continue to do.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Yeah, and just to say that, to follow up, that we so much appreciate, Director Wooten, all the good that you've done over these years with these kids and with these programs. There's no question this school board and the school boards before and the superintendents before, I well recall Mr. Bruner and his commitment to extracurricular programs and band programs in particular. And we feel the same way. And I would just say that you are the A in our A rating, but you're also the plus. Right. So thank you for that, Director Wooten, and we appreciate you, and students, you too, and all the good. And I could talk all day about band programs and how valuable they are and how important they are to schools, but just so you know, we appreciate you and everything you've done. All right, Superintendent.
Thank you. And I just want to often say that we're not a perfect school district, but what you see there on that insignia, that's up there for you all, is you see the A+. And we talk about the A+ being academics, the arts, and athletics. And I was thinking about the end of our day today. We had a meeting where we were going strong on academics. We see Maddie over here on the athletics, and then we see the arts. And this district has placed an emphasis on arts, and I'll say Mr. Wooten, who absolutely is an icon, not only here in Okaloosa, but across this country, a well-respected band director, but he introduced me into the arts. And he's absolutely correct. When we went down to New York City, or up to New York City, I've never been so tired in my entire life. But it was the organization, it was the caliber of students, it was the excellence, it was the pride that was so impressive. And this Eagle Pride before us, it represents each of our high schools, our middle schools, the arts, the chorus, the theater, because the arts are important in this district, and just couldn't be more proud. And I do remember watching you all on TV. There may have been a text or two, but very proud of what you all have accomplished. And this 4 individuals here is also representative of several hundreds of students that represents this band. So again, couldn't be more proud. Do have just a little something for you 3 as well. And Dr. White, if you'd join me, and I actually think if each of the board members would join me, we're going to take a picture as well.
Can we take?
Can we bring our thing?
Absolutely. His is bigger than ours.
Yeah.
This is the brains of the outfit for sure.
You stand up here.
Mr. Gardner, Mr. Bryant might need to switch places.
And then, okay, so what I need is, yeah, Mr. Bryant, kind of go that way a little bit, right there.
I see you.
Okay.
Problem child.
And then, right there. Perfect. There we go. Awesome. Okay. And do me one favor, kind of point those forward just a little bit. So that-
Catching the glare off the
Yeah.
lights.
Point them, right here, leave it, so forward, or point it forward. There you go. There you go. Perfect. Thanks, like that. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take a bunch, so keep smiling. One more. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
That was almost a.
All right, colleagues, that takes us down to Section 4, Administrative Personnel Appointments.
Public hearing.
Excuse me, oh, yeah, we're a little behind on that. Let's slide down on our agenda to public hearing, and that will be at 15.1. This is a public hearing for the adoption of revised school board policy 04-49, District Harm Prevention and Threat Management, presented by Mr. Danny Dean, Program Director, Safe Schools, and recommended by the Superintendent for approval. Is there anyone here to speak to this item tonight? All right, colleagues, seeing no one, I need a motion.
That's good.
I'll move it.
And I'll second it.
All right, motion by Dr. Kelly, second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Okay, thanks for that reminder. Now let's go back up again to 4.1, Administrative Personnel Appointments. Appointment of Specialists, Career and Technical Education, recommended by the Superintendent for approval. Mr. Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Board. I bring before you Ms. Paula Rogers. Mrs. Rogers has worked for the Okaloosa County School District for the past 20 years in various positions, including teaching English at the middle and high school levels and serving as a consulting teacher in professional services. Mrs. Rogers particularly enjoyed her time as an AP Language and Composition teacher at Choctawhatchee High School and 8th grade ELA at STEM. She also enjoys teaching English as an adjunct teacher at the college level when her schedule allows. Mrs. Rogers earned her bachelor's degree in business management from the University of Maryland, Europe, and a master's degree in English from Valdosta State University. She also holds an instructional design certificate from the University of Wisconsin-Stout. For the past 2 years, Ms. Rogers has served as the Career and Technical Education Consulting Teacher. She mentors new CTE teachers and monitors CTE certifications, coursework, and professional learning. She contributes to her team by coordinating special projects such as CTE Signing Day and CTE professional learning activities. Recently, Mrs. Rogers wrote and received a $7.5 million grant, a Triumph Grant, for the district's Okaloosa Technical College and 2 Florida Department of Education Workforce Development Capitalization Incentive Grants, one for $3.3 million for OTC and one for $1.05 million for secondary programs. And Mrs. Rogers has 2 beautiful children and cats. Miss Rogers.
Thank you. Need a motion, colleagues?
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Vancheck,
Second?
second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion?
I'd like to say that it was a real pleasure to work with Miss Rogers at Choctaw. The last couple of years I was in the classroom. She is a wonderful educator who always keeps that focus where we know is best, which is on the students. She's a lot of fun to work with. She has a real outgoing, wonderful, we can work it out, we can do it, it's just a thing, let's get over it, let's move on. Personality that has led to her success, and I was really thrilled to see that you made this recommendation, Mr. Superintendent, and I'm very happy that you're going to be in this position because I know that it's going to really add to our program, Paula. Congratulations.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion before we vote? All right, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you, Mr. Chambers. I know that career and technical education is very important to you, and I take the responsibility of this position very seriously. I would like to thank our outgoing program director, Mrs. April Branscombe. She has taught me everything I know about CTE. She is going to be a tremendous loss to our district. I would also like to thank Mrs. Jennifer Beasley. She is our incoming program director, and she brings a wealth of knowledge to the position, and I know we're in great hands moving forward. I would also like to thank our OTC director, John Williams. He provided me with the information and guidance I needed to write those grants successfully. I would like to thank my wonderful co-workers and the many, many people in this district who I have worked with over the years. And of course, my cats. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Mr. Gordon, Mr. Spolsky?
Listed to the left today.
It's got a shoulder, no, leg on yours.
Mr. Martin, can you move that way? There you go, right. All right, I'm gonna take a bunch, so just keep smiling. Somebody else?
David, get up here. You're part of the team.
Since you don't have a Yankee shirt, I'm gonna jump here.
Congratulations, Paul.
All right, so that brings us to Section 5, public comment on the agenda items. And Ms. Mary, I don't think we have any blue cards, do we? All right, so then we go to Section 6, 6.1, any county travel, 6.2, out-of-county travel. Those are both information items. 6.3, service agreements. And then 6.4, quarterly report on short-term facility usage. Okay? Then that brings us down to the consent agenda, 7.1. I need a motion for approval of the consent.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner,
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, now we'll scroll on down, and we come to Superintendent's Human Resources Recommendations 8.1, Information Only, Employees on Admin Leave. 8.2, Information Only, Deferred Retirement Option Program. 8.3, Department Staffing Restructure, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent for approval. I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
I'll second.
second by Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.4, Employment Separations, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.5, Personnel Recommendations, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Evancheck.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.6, Employee Transfers, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner.
I'll second.
Second by Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.7, Employee Suspension, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.8, Reinstatement Reimbursement of Sick Leave, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Kelly, second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. And then finally, 8.9, Leave Without Pay, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
I'll move it.
Motion by Dr. Kelly.
I'll second.
Oh, go ahead.
That was close. Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. There were no items on the discussion agenda. 10.1 is the program status report by the board's representative to the construction committee.
No update tonight.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you, Dr. Kelly. 10.2 is an action item, program number 6, task order number 32, GMP for Kenwood Elementary School and Plu Elementary School roof replacements, presented by Dr. Smith and recommended by the superintendent.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
I'll second.
second by Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Attorney, sir.
No report tonight.
Thank you. Superintendent, your business, sir.
Thank you. I have no additional comments tonight. As you know, we shared information this morning as well as a update on the North End schools in terms of construction and renovation. So nothing further tonight.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Dr. White, if I
Yes, sir.
could comment on his last, thank you to Mr. Meyer for a great presentation today. That was awesome. One request though, off of that, if we could get a pic of the diagram of the new school and all that sent to us, if that's possible.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. All right, so that takes us down to board members' announcements. We had some today at the workshop, but colleagues, you may have something else. So, Ms. Gardner, anything?
Yes, I did mention that I would have something tonight. I started looking through some of the schools in Fort Walton Beach High School, and Dr. White, you mentioned earlier that we may need to add A+++, because when I started looking at all the individuals, and what they're receiving right now, I'm afraid that I'm going to forget something because I mean, there's awards for arts and drama and theater and musicals and sports. So I know we have these individuals that are coming. So I'm not going to start calling names. However, I mentioned to Maddie earlier how exciting it is to see our young ladies and how they are excelling in sports. But I do want to say that Fort Walton Beach High School received their first ever district flag football champions. And so this was history, Fort Walton Beach High School. Not only are they district champions, they went on to win the regionals, so their first ever regional champions. And then tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure that's Tuesday the 23rd, they are now in the playoffs for state state championship tournament. So against Choctaw, so that should be an exciting game. So I'm so proud of our young ladies. There's 22, 23 young ladies that are on this team, and it's exciting to watch our young ladies. And like you've said before, not only are they strong on the field, but also in academics. So good luck, Vikings. I wasn't here for the first part of I was in Texas, the April meeting, and I didn't have an opportunity to do a shout out to our school media specialists. And April 4th was School Librarian Appreciation Day. And I don't know why this isn't updated in our calendars, but many people don't understand that school librarians are really media specialists nowadays, are media centers. So that was on April 4th, and we so appreciate our media specialists, our media assistants, and what they're doing in the schools, and how they are promoting the love of reading, especially in elementary school. I have a degree, I know Dr. Kelly does too, and if you've ever been in a media center and see these little ones come up and tell you about their book and their excitement, and I just really do appreciate what these individuals are doing. It's been some difficult, challenging years, but they've held strong. They make sure that we have a quality program, and that we have literature that is rich. So I do appreciate that. And also, the quiet person behind it all, Tasha Bates right there. She is, I call her a wizard because she's kind of like behind the scenes. She doesn't like attention. She's putting her head down right now. But people don't understand what all she is doing. She's a one-man team. And I was talking to her today, and she was sharing with me that she processed 7,200 unique titles. And I had to clarify what unique, and these are titles that have not been previously approved through her. But 7,200 titles to purchase. I mean, and am I correct in saying that anything that we purchase, any book, any media book, has to be approved by you, the one. So I just appreciate, I know it's hard, and like I said, the last couple of years have been challenging, but we kind of see things settling a little bit. But just rest assured, our media centers are rich. They foster the love of reading, and there is quality material, and I'm just very proud. I think those were some of my favorite days, sitting and reading and promoting reading with the little ones right there, and that's where it starts. And also, just to go back and to throw in there that there is strong research that shows, and Mr. Bryant and I were talking about circulation, that a higher a school's circulation is, that their test scores are higher. So it does go hand in hand. And again, that's just common sense because we're promoting reading. So again, just a shout out to our school librarians, our media specialists, the media assistants, and all they do, and keeping our reading program strong. Oh, and Shauna Chris. Oh, I can't forget Shauna Chris. Oh, Lord, y'all know Shauna Chris. She will get me. But no, Shauna is again amazing, and she has a passion like no other. But she is going into schools that when she's invited to help revitalize these media centers, and she's doing an amazing job also. So thank you, Shauna Christ. And y'all know Shauna. You know I had to toss that in there too. But she's amazing.
Dr. White, if I could
Yes, sir.
follow up something with Ms. Gardner's talking with Ms. Bates. We talked a little bit after the meeting today, and I just asked her to just give me some information regarding how many books have been checked out throughout the district this school year. Over 226,000 has been checked out. So that's pretty amazing. So to follow up on what you're saying about the passion of reading, it's obviously still.
I think it's coming back. You know, we had those a year, too, that there was a lot of uncertainty, not just quite sure what, some challenges, but I think we're starting to see that love coming, and especially in the elementary schools. And, you know, maybe secondary is a little bit different, but when I volunteer, I will be in the media centers.
Very good. Thank
That's
you,
all.
Ms. Gardner.
Thank you.
Ms. Evancho?
Just one thing, I said several things this morning, but when we have our next meeting, we'll be into May. And I just want to mainly for the public say that you can see our stack right here. our calendars are filled or filling up. That's a good thing to have, and we're excited. I know I can speak for everybody that we get to as many things as we can. I'm thrilled that we get invited to so many things. It's going to be a busy time. We will be kind of doing like this, but it's great because, again, going back to what we saw tonight, this is where we start to see those rewards coming back from all the hard work this year and the different ceremonies, and get to, be there when they do the awards and the plays and all that. So it's a great time of year, but May is going to be a busy one all the way to that last day of school, but also a very excited one. So when we meet again, we will have been going to several things before we come back to that. And then the next one, I believe, will be pretty close to, school will be out by then, by the time we do the next one. So it's moving quickly, but it's an exciting time. And you can just put as many pluses as you want to behind it, because that's it. Thank
Well,
you.
we'll be going into the schools fireside chats or just
Yes,
right around the
we-
corner.
yeah,
I think
that's the
mine's
first
next
week of May.
with Fort
I
Walton.
think this Friday is
Wednesday, so this Wednesday coming
Oh,
up.
okay,
and
you're
then
starting?
Friday.
This Wednesday at Niceville and this Friday at Crestview.
That's
Right,
where we
and
go
then-
into the schools and we get to listen to the students. They tell us the
Yep.
good, they tell us the bad, they tell us the ugly, and they tell us. And that's just
Mhm.
very important for us to hear.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Bryant, anything?
No, I think I've said
Yes, sir.
everything this morning.
All
Thank
right.
you for the
Yes, sir.
opportunity.
Dr. Kelly?
Okay, well, thank you. I can echo what Ms. Gardner said about media centers and media specialists being so important to fostering literacy. And they do so at an early age, and they continue to do that through high school. So they definitely hold a sincere and important place in our schools. I wanted to speak first a little bit about House Bill 931. I know several of us may have been contacted about that, but if you're not familiar, that is the bill that potentially allows districts to have members of the clergy serve in the capacity of mental health counselors. It gives the ability, doesn't say we must, it gives the ability. But I wanted to speak on that because I've been such a staunch supporter of mental health and encourager of the mental health programs that we have in our district. And I wanted to say on the record that I so appreciate my conversation with Mr. Chambers and with 3 other of our Panhandle superintendents, knowing that they are going to do due diligence, as they always do, with every single proposed bill. I know that you and your colleagues have people on point on your district staff who monitor for these bills and who wait for the rulemaking follow up to every bill before we even entertain a policy that we might consider adding to the Okaloosa County Schools policies. So I just wanted to put that out there, that I know that we will progress with a pathway that is purposeful, meaningful, and slow and appropriate for those that it impacts in our district. Thank you for that. Thank you for our conversation on that. Moving on, I wanted to remind us again that Ruckle Middle School's Color Run is from 6 to 8 p.m. at the school, and all monies collected go to support their technology initiatives at Ruckle Middle School. I wanted to add, too, to the girls' weightlifting, because I didn't know so much about girls' weightlifting until I got in this role about almost 7 years ago. And I have to add, congratulations to the Niceville Eagles girls weightlifting superlatives, Alexis Orcutt, we've heard the Orcutt name a few years now, and Alexis Krumnov. They got second place, and the girls weightlifting earned 3rd in traditional and 5th in Olympic at state. And some other superlatives, Carmen Holly placed 3rd in Olympic, and Carmen Freeman placed 2nd in Olympic and 3rd in traditional. Lily Forrester earned 3rd in traditional. Caitlin Shepard and Amber Gregory placed 3rd in Olympic and traditional. And Charlie Manuklik placed 4th in traditional. Layla Hughes caught, this is moving on to another sport now. Layla Hughes caught 3 passes for 92 yards and scored 2 touchdowns in the Eagles' win over Escambia. And congratulations to Niceville Cheer, who came home with a state championship and ended their season at UCA Nationals, earning 9th in traditional and 8th in game day. And I wanted to remind us all, and congratulations again to those Auntie Mitchell recipients. We had such a wonderful, phenomenal ceremony for those students last week. And I'll end with a reminder that we have only about a month left of school. That's phenomenal. So let's make every day count. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. And just to follow up on Ms. Ivanchek's comments, that's right, we'll be doing our graduations here pretty soon, and I've got my fingers crossed for good weather. I know the superintendent does, and so appreciate the work of Paul in putting those graduation ceremonies online for folks to see wherever they might be if they can't attend in person. All right, so that brings us down to Section 14, public comment. Do we have any yellow cards, Ms. Mary? All right, we do, and this is from Ms. Miriam, is it Paulino? Is that correct? All right, would you come forward, please? And Mr. McInnes, I know that as customary, you'll go through all the protocols and rules regarding public comment for Ms. Paulino.
Yes, sir. You'll have 2 minutes to make your presentation tonight, and you should direct your comments to the chairman. Concerns discussed must relate to educational issues in the school district. Personal attacks against officers and personnel should be excluded from your presentation, and complaints relating to the official conduct of personnel or their discharge of their duties and responsibilities must first be made to their appropriate supervising personnel. Items pertaining to personnel matters under the responsibility of the superintendent are not routinely heard before the school board. And we would ask that tonight that you be respectful in your presentation and not make any attacks on individuals. Thank you.
All right, so he's has a little timer. I think you might can see it. It's 2 minutes, and if you're still talking, it's gonna make a funny noise. But just try to ignore that. But that'll signify the end of your time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Hello, my name is Miriam Paulino. On April 11th, my son, who is a 5th grader at Destin Middle School, boarded his normal bus to go home, but his bus ride was not normal. My son and many other children told us that the bus driver on the way home was driving erratically, going too fast and running over curbs, cursing at the children, stopping in places that were not designated stops, such as a motel, and checking her cell phone. Ultimately, she let at least 10 children, including my son, off the bus at a non-designated bus stop with no sidewalk. It was at a random street corner in the middle of Destin. This was almost a mile from my home and even further for some children. Other kids on that bus told us the same thing and also told their parents. In our effort to confirm what happened on that bus, we were met with resistance instead of concern. At least one parent reported this incident to the school immediately at 4:22 p.m. that very day. The next day, we asked to view the camera footage taken on the bus, but we were told we were not allowed to see it. So we met with the principal and the head of the transportation department. They told us they watched the security video and confirmed that 15 students got off at the bus at an undesignated stop. This is explicitly against school policy, yet he told me that no action was being taken, no answers were given as to why or how this happened, or what the school district was going to do to prevent this from happening again. The superintendent did offer to meet with us, and we had a good meeting. We have now been told HR.
Well, that was the sound I mentioned to you,
Okay.
the sound. So, but thank you for your comments. And Superintendent, anything here?
No, I would say I believe, and you'd correct me if I'm wrong, we had a good meeting today. We talked about the factual nature of what happened. Some of what was stated here tonight is true. Some of what is stated, not necessarily true. But we had a good meeting. We let the 3 parents know that we would absolutely not only look into the situation, but we'll fully investigate the situation as well. I believe when you left my office today that you were satisfied with the steps that we were taking, and I do appreciate yourself and the others who came forward to share your concerns. But as we discussed in this meeting, obviously student safety is something that we take seriously, but it's something that we look into for facts and making sure that facts are what's provided. And we will have an investigation that will bring that forward.
All right, so it's under investigation, and what that means for us legally is that we don't comment during the midst of an investigation. And I guess the question I would have for the superintendent, for you, is will you apprise her of the findings of your investigation?
Absolutely, and we shared that today.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, and I just was requesting that everybody on the board watches the video as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks, that takes us through public comment, 14.1. That was the only yellow card, is that right, Mary? All right. And we've already had our public hearing, so is there anything else at the dais up here? Mr. Attorney, Superintendent? All right, how about from staff?
I want to say one thing about
Okay, sure.
Administrative
All right,
Assistance Day. That's coming up this week.
All right.
And we have one of our individuals right here tonight, Mary McCowan, who takes care of us, along with Amber Floyd, and
She's
they.
over- she's there?
Oh,
She's
I didn't see
behind
you.
the
Hey,
plant.
Amber.
Behind
the plant.
Okay,
She's
she's over there.
behind the plant.
Anyway, I just want the public to know what these two ladies do for us, to try and get 5 board members all in the same place at the same time and everything. It's quite remarkable what they do. And they make us look good and make us make sure we're on time and everything. And ladies, we just really appreciate what all you do for us. And we have a little something for you tonight, but thank you for continuing to keep us on guard because, we're not, we're kind of just bumbling around, but we've got this. So thank you so much. And every day to us is a Secretary's Day, if you don't mind me using that term, because of what you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Evanchak, and thank you, Mary and Ms. Amber. All right, folks, this meeting is adjourned.
Okay, I got